Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. I'm gonna do take 2 on this because for some odd reason it stopped, so whatever. In the background, if you guys are hearing a noise, I'm in the middle of doing laundry. So like I said, I was gonna come out with a video or we'll try to. I might do another one tonight, not entirely sure, don't hold me to that. But yeah, I just kind of took yesterday to do some, adult running around errands. And hi, Zena. I'm just saying hi to my Yorkie. Hi, Zena. Come. Come here. Come say hi. Come on. Hold on, you guys might get to see her in a minute. Oh, maybe not. She's just wandering around. Anyways, back to the video. If she does want to come say hi, I'll show her. But, yeah, she's so cute. She's 11, almost 11. Come here, Zena. She's wandering around. She doesn't know. Come say hi. This is my Zena. She is almost 11, and she literally just had the last of her teeth pulled. So she's our gummy little Yorkie. She has no teeth, but that's okay. Say hi, Zena. I'll put her on the chair. She likes to go on the chair. Hold on. Let me make sure. Hold on. She's just gonna wander around. But anyways, yes, back on topic. So by the title of this video, I have gotten comments of it in past few videos and emails. So thanks for doing that, guys, for kind of doing the email process. If you don't feel comfortable, there's, in the background, not commenting below. So I'm going to be talking about last lockdown that we had here on Ontario versus our new one. So our new lockdown compared to our old one is very different. So last year in 2020, when COVID first started, and our cases kind of started picking up, they weren't hitting the hundreds yet, but they were talking about lockdown. And then once they did slowly start to trickle in with the hundreds, we shut down. So that meant most big box stores, like the Brick we have here in Ontario and / Canada, like HomeSense, big stores that don't, I guess, are essential, like grocery stores, pharmacies, and all that, were shut down. Sorry, Zena. And the rest did kind of curbside pickup or home delivery, which is still popular, very popular today. And so I lost my job because part of the lockdown was, you're gonna lose your job, but once we can safely reopen and able to hire, I would have my job back. And it was scary and new to everybody. Everybody kind of didn't understand what was going on, what COVID was. Everybody was very frustrated with the new laws by social distancing, wearing masks. People were very frustrated because our society grew to be kind of comfortable, basically kind of having the will of not being controlled by the government type of thing. I know that kind of sounds very but everybody was used to kind of just going out and doing themselves, right? They were allowed to, go to the movies, go out to the restaurants and stuff. Whereas when the lockdown hit, it was kind of restaurants had to shut down. They could only do, home delivery or curbside pickup. Schools were shut down and had to turn to e-learning, which is a very cultural shock compared to just sending your kids to school for 7 to 8 hours and then being home and not really having a hand in the children's kind of education, because a lot of families are, busy with their jobs and stuff. But being turned over to now you have to work from home and also take care of your kid and help them with school and stuff. It's been very challenging for a lot of people because we haven't had that kind of need for that, right, in the past. And now that all this law that came down, it was very hard for a lot of people to adjust, and still to this day, because they're using the whole like, oh, if I wear a mask I'm gonna get depression, and I think that's very childish. It saves lives, right? Sure, it can construct your breathing and whatnot, and that's why they say, just go out when it's mandatory and stuff. And it was very, like, everybody was on the edge of their seats, right, for the first few months, because they didn't understand what was going on. We didn't know if we were going to, permanently lose our jobs. Everybody was just up in arms. And then summer hit, and everybody was kind of like able to kind of relax a little bit. Kids were out of school, so they didn't have to worry about that. Unfortunately, summer camps, a lot of summer camps weren't on. Some were, but they had to be outside. So it was a big cluster. And, traveling wasn't really, it was recommended, not to travel. Of course, some people did, but that's, their decision. And for me, I was dealing with some family stuff at the time. So it was kind of like, okay, just full on, put, not COVID by the side, but it was kind of like, it wasn't like a big cultural shock for me personally. So yeah, I lost my job. Okay, that sucked. But I was promised a job. Even if it wouldn't be at the same location, they would find me a job. So I kind of had that safety net. Or if worst case scenario, they would help me find another job. So I did have that security blanket. Of course, I was looking for other jobs, in the meantime to see, but of course, a lot of people weren't hiring. I did some online schooling and stuff. It wasn't very like, oh my God, the end of the world is coming for me. I've talked about this in a few other videos. Nothing really, really massively changed except for some family stuff, but I'm not the type of person to go out partying. I'm not the type of person to go out clubbing or, eat at a restaurant and whatnot. Like, occasionally I would do that, but I it wasn't really part of my, weekly or monthly thing. So I couldn't go to the movies. Yeah, that kind of sucked, but there was other things like I could adapt. Some people have trouble adapting, so that sucks, right? That's harder for them and can be frustrating and challenging. Yes, I love to travel, and I was planning on going on a trip, but hey, that got put on hold. And it was, it's not the end of the world. Luckily, I didn't put any money out at the time, so I was like, okay, you know what? Just save up and move on forward, right? Just figure it out. It wasn't really, I didn't have a problem going to the grocery store, and because I shopped for my family who are older and immune compromised, they can't really go out, so hey, yes, did it suck that I had to line up when it was cold? Yes, but whatever, who gives a shit? I just got used to it, wearing a mask, okay, so we had to wear a mask, big whoop-de-doo. I was like, whatever. Hey, if I have acne, it covers it up. That's great. That's fantastic. Hey, I looked for the kind of rainbow on the other side, the sunshine. It wasn't a big, end of the world type of thing. And as the months went on, it was just routine. It was just didn't really go out, didn't do anything. When I went out, grocery shopping, sure. It wasn't, I didn't know what to do with my life, okay? And as the months trickled on and things started to kind of reopen, I got the phone call saying that, hey, not yet. We're not ready for you to come back, but soon. That's fine, whatever. Like I said, I did online schooling. I did stuff around the house. I was just doing the best that I could, right? Being very cautious. And then, fall hit, and then winter snuck in, Christmas and all that stuff. And then I got the phone call, hey, you can come back to work. Fantastic. So New Year's passed, I go back to work. Cases started to spike again. People not that they got lazy, they just got frustrated and tired of, not following the rules. Like, there was parties in the summertime and still was continuing. People weren't social distancing or wearing their masks because they couldn't anymore. It was too much work to do that. It was, yes, I'm not saying that people weren't affected by mental health like that. Of course, there's that underlying problem and drug addiction and all that. I'm going to keep that in a separate box for now. I'm just going to focus on the people that just were selfish, okay? Because I know the whole mental health thing is like a whole other box. That we'll see on how much time it is, and then I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a separate video on that. So I'm just going to talk about the selfish people that literally didn't give a shit. They thought that COVID was fake and all that stuff, and people just started following that. So like, oh, hey, I haven't gotten COVID, so it's not real type of thing. Literally, I was 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks into work, so this past month, and the new lockdown happened. Now, I was a little taken back by this, okay? So I was lucky. My work this time around got deemed essential, so I got the letter that I was allowed to go to work and stuff. And that was that. I was very fortunate to be able to work, However, schools weren't back to e-learning. They were allowed to come the fall time, but now they're back to e-learning. And I got really taken aback by last lockdown to now. And what I mean by that is the beginning of COVID, a lot of people panicked and, they didn't want to go out. So the streets were ghost towns. The buses were ghost towns. There was, people were very cautious. They followed the first kind of few months of the lockdown, the first one. Moving into the second lockdown, a lot more things were allowed to stay open this time around. Again, the whole implication, only a certain amount of people allowed in the building, blah, blah, blah. My company is curbside pickup or home delivery. But it's just, people, I get it. We're literally going on to a year now, and people are frustrated. And this whole new lockdown it was basically state of emergency, everybody stay home if you're not essential workers. And so one morning, it was basically 6 o'clock in the morning, I was heading out, going on a bus to go to work, essential worker life, and I was just standing there in the bus shelter, freezing my ass off because it's cold. I was like, great, And I was like, holy crap, where the hell is everybody going at 6 o'clock in the morning? It was literally bumper to bumper traffic. And I was like, this can't be all essential workers. I'm like, compared to last lockdown to now, I know a lot of things are kind of open. But it's just like, we all can't be essential workers. Like, unless there was like, a booming need for people, because of course the COVID, there's always that. I was like, this is just crazy. And I get on the bus, it is packed, shoulder to shoulder. No social distancing on the buses whatsoever. And it's just like, really? Like, really? This is all... Really? Like, I was just starstruck, and I was like, okay, you know what, whatever, gonna do my thing, get to work, do my shift, head home. Same thing, bumper to bumper traffic, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder in the bus. I was like, this is just crazy. And like, nobody's social distancing in the stores. Nobody's, stores are just letting in people by the number. They're not putting a cap on it. They're just flowing on through. And it's just like, nobody's giving a shit. Yes, granted, cases are kind of somewhat going down. I mean, they're kind of fluctuating between 1,000 to 3,000, like we're in that gap still. It's not great, but it's just like people are just not getting the message. And it's just like, yes, okay, a lot of places are allowed to be open still or do the curbside pickup and stuff. And it's like, even when I like talk to customers, some of them aren't, in masks, they don't give a shit. Like, it's just COVID is fake. And it's just like, people are dying and getting sick. And yes, there's a vaccine out there. Kind of. We're not really getting the vaccinations because they're on hold, whatever, that's a whole other thing. But it's just like, people are just sick and tired of it. I'm lost for words. Like, I'm like, honestly, it's just like bumper to bumper at 6 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter because my shifts vary, like, they're all over the time. Sometimes I'm early in the morning, afternoon, evening. Of course, there's a time limit where stores have to shut down by the law, of course. But it's just like, holy shit, like, where the hell are you going at all these random ass hours? Like, I can pick the most randomest time, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's like traffic up the ass, and people are packed on the bus, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Of course we have to wear masks on the bus, but some people are like half-assing it, like they have it on the mouth, not the nose. It's like, really? And people are sick, and it's like, you're supposed to stay home, but people still not giving a shit. Like, it's very different from the first lockdown to when people are like, okay, this shit's serious, let's stay home, let this be the last lockdown type of thing. People are very cautious, and now people, it's just like, they don't give a shit. They're like, if I get it, oh well. It's not like this whole panic anymore. And it's just like, I don't get it or understand it. Like, I live in a household where unfortunately I do have to go out and work. Yes, there are people over the age of 60, some are immune compromised, so I have to be very careful on what I do. Like, when I go home, I, right away go for a shower, wash my clothes. Usually take a shower, then wash my clothes, and then like scrub. I watch where I go around the house. I keep to myself. It's not like, really important to be around my family members. Even if I'm around my family members, social distance, like, I am taking precautions. And yes, I'm nervous every time I go out of the house. I'm not paranoid, but I am concerned because there are people that don't follow the rules, that aren't taking this seriously. And yes, I am taking a very high risk going out and working in the world where I could possibly come in contact with people that have COVID, and there's that. It's scary for me, and I can't imagine the healthcare workers who are working their asses off for, through this pandemic, over almost a year, and going through all this, and some not seeing their family for a year. And it's just like, we should still be taking this seriously, and it's just not being taken seriously. Like, the other day, after work, I had to go grocery shopping for a family member who says, like, they couldn't go out because they weren't well, so I was going to drop off the stuff for them. And, like, I remember it was Walmart. I remember calling Walmart, so I was like, holy crap, I get off at, like, 7 this evening, because that's when my store closes. I better check, like, if Walmart's is open. I called, they're like, oh yeah, we're open at 11, regular hours. I'm like, what the hell? So I go there, and it is just packed. So fucking busy. And there's no limit on in the building. People are just allowed to go in. And I'm just like, holy crap, I feel disgusting. Like, I've just worked, around co-workers. We're very respectful of each other. I feel gross because I was like, you know, I've been working for over 8 hours. This is nasty. I'm going grocery shopping with people who are half-assing it, not really giving a shit. And it's just like, I, you know, did the grocery shopping, dropped off the stuff, went home, and I, like, showered. I scrubbed. Like, I was like, oh my God. Like, I just felt terrible that I was, you know, after work I had to go grocery shopping. Like, I just felt shitty about it. I know, again, in the store, like, in and out, I just get my shit and get out, like, you know, social distance, keeping my distance, and it's just, like, people are just, like, packed, it's, like, ugh, it's, like, it's not serious anymore to a lot of people, and this is why we're still in the high thousands, I mean, well, not high thousands, low thousands, but we're still in that 1,000 gap, and yes, it does fluctuate, but it's just, like, people still aren't getting the message, and it's just crazy. So yeah, there was a big difference from last lockdown to now, and it's just like, this is never going to be over if people don't take this seriously again. And yeah, do I feel scared going out to work? Yes, but I'm very mindful of my surroundings and what I do after. But yeah, there's a major difference, and unfortunately, you know, there's nothing I can do but do my part of social distancing when I'm not working, because, you know, I have days off. If I don't have to go out, I don't go out. I stay home. I do household work. I do laundry. You know, I read, I cook, I bake, I watch a movie, catch up on shit, you know. I'm very mindful when I go out, you know, do my list, get in and out, social distance, wear a mask, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's oh my God, both my legs are asleep again. It's a lot that people aren't following the rules. A lot of them haven't followed them from the get-go. You know, after a few months of it, it was just like, okay, let's party and do all this shit. And it's just, I don't think there's enough. I mean, okay, so to put it frank, like, here in Ontario, police officers aren't technically allowed to stop you and ask you why you're out. They're not allowed to pull you over and ask you why you are out. So, like, people can just literally do whatever they are doing. Like, you know, if a police officer is doing a check within the area. Oh my Lord, it is really asleep. Within the area, and, you know, they see a person, they're allowed to stop and ask, like, oh, like, you know, where are you going? And then just show them the papers and stuff. But they aren't allowed to just randomly stop you, you know, if they're in an area doing a check and they're out and it's just casual. You know, they just want to make sure you're being safe and all that stuff, of course, but, like, they're not allowed to pull you over or just stop you randomly. So there's not a lot that, you know, the police or whatever can do to stop you from being out. So again, you can literally do whatever the hell you want, without any, like, that's why there's so much traffic and people just doing whatever they want, because there's no law technically stopping them. I mean, yeah, so there is a state of emergency. Technically, that is a law. But again, if they're out, they're not allowed to be stopped. So that's a thing now. Anyways, guys, I hope you are doing your part in this new life we've been living for the past year. I hope you're staying safe, and whatnot. But anyways, guys, I hope you are having a fantastic day. I will try to get out another video soon. Remember, never give up, always keep fighting. You're enough and you're very much loved. Until the next video, guys, stay safe. Love you guys. Bye.